Hi everyone, welcome to the Movieception Show. My name is Fariba, and today has been quite the morning. I just woke up and I was getting a lot of latest updates regarding Star Wars Celebration, regarding a lot of big news coming from the Star Wars Celebration in London, including the fact that we got a couple of trailers that dropped from Lucasfilm, so I'm super excited to really just get into it. Of course, the first one I want to check out is Ahsoka, because I've been hearing so much about it. I've been super excited to see this series since, Rosario Dawson played Ahsoka in The Mandalorian Season 2. For me, in terms of Star Wars The Clone Wars, I have started it. I have not finished it, but I am looking forward to at least getting that series done as soon as possible before the show drops. I'm super excited to see Ahsoka. Hopefully I'll get done with Star Wars The Clone Wars before the show drops. But yeah, let's get right down into the Ahsoka trailer.
Something's coming. Something dark.
Okay.
I sense it.
This is a new beginning. For some, war. For others,
Hero.
power.
Whoa.
It's been a while. Things have changed. I started hearing whispers
Hey, okay.
about Thrawn's return
Oh my god.
as heir to the Empire.
Oh, okay.
We have to prepare for the worst. The Jedi fell a long time ago. There aren't many left.
Perhaps it is time to begin again.
August, okay. So that was the Ahsoka trailer. So I'm pretty excited. I mean, just from the trailer itself, I really get a pretty thrilling aspect to it. Like, you can tell the whole atmosphere is very, very, serious. It's also very different from The Mandalorian, because The Mandalorian obviously has more of its Western style to it. This one definitely feels as if there's a lot of high stakes going on, with Ahsoka kind of being the center of it all. I know with this series, like, you would have to watch the Clone Wars as well as Rebels, I believe, because I did see a couple of Rebels characters, so it looks like I'm gonna have to go dive deep into both of those series before the show airs in August, because it looks like it's coming in August, so I have at least some time to get caught up on both of those shows, which thankfully enough they're on Disney Plus, so I'll be watching both of them. In terms of like the whole trailer itself, like I'm kind of impressed with a lot of the things that they're kind of referring back to, right? So there's a whole Jedi aspect, of course, because Ahsoka used to train as a Jedi. That makes far more sense. I mean, again, I don't know all the characters because I haven't seen the entirety of Clone Wars as well as Rebels, but it seems like that there was like one Sith Lord who happens to kind of look like an antithesis of Luke Skywalker with the black hoodie, like, I don't know, I felt like I got a lot of vibes from that, but in a more like anti Luke Skywalker way. So that was interesting to see right there. I love how, again, I know the big thing that everyone has been talking about in terms of the series has been Admiral Thrawn, which I know a lot of people have been wondering, like, okay, Admiral Thrawn, how we're gonna see him. The fact that they're implying that he could be the successor to Palpatine, Anakin, all that sort of stuff, basically the heir to the Empire, that is a very interesting storyline. I've heard that that's referring back to one of the Star Wars canon legends. So that'll be really interesting to see how they tackle that, because I've never seen something like this before. Because again, we know that at least in between in Return of the Jedi and The Force Awakens. Like, there hasn't really been anything in the sort where we saw any sort of like new sort of threat kind of coming against the Republic, or in the case of like, you know, Mandalorian's timeline, the New Republic, because again, everything is basically lined up, like the whole series is being lined up between, like, it's being lined up with the whole Mandalorian timeline. So it's kind of just that in between period that we're looking at, and the fact that they're implying that there could be you know, an imminent threat coming, as big as someone like Admiral Thrawn, like that would be a very interesting story to kind of look into and dive how they kind of showcase that storyline. Because again, like, there is obviously a lot of questions of, well, if we're going to have this, how this is going to connect back to Force Awakens. Are they even going to acknowledge Force Awakens, which we'll talk about in a second. But yeah, it's like, I wonder how they're going to execute that storyline, as well as the fact that, again, we know that Ezra might be in this show. Like, they had already done the casting for it. So lots of different questions about it. Like, again, it doesn't really go too deep aside from the fact that they do show the characters who will be in there, such as Hera, of course Ahsoka, some of the, you know, the opponents that we're dealing with, such as Admiral Thrawn, and then of course it's just a quick idea of, okay, well, the threat is Thrawn, and it seems as if he's going to try and become kind of the new power to the Empire. So definitely a very interesting synopsis, concept out of this whole trailer. Like, again, I don't know much about it just because I haven't really been caught up with the shows. Again, I haven't even been caught up with the Bad Batch. So like, I have to do definitely a catch up on everything. But honestly, having just seen this with what I have already seen with the Mandalorian, the Star Wars movies, of course, like the remaining parts of the Star Wars Disney Plus series, the live action ones, like I'm all caught up with those. So now that we're having Ahsoka, now I can't wait to see it, how they're going to try and handle the story. Because I know right now, Star Wars is kind of in a really big of a fiddle right now, just because of kind of how a lot of the shows have been going on, especially in terms of just the quality of them. Like right now, Mandalorian season 3 is airing right now, and there's been a lot of mixed receptions regarding season 3. And then of course we've kind of been a little, you know, we've been really critical about Obi-Wan Kenobi and Book of Boba Fett, how both of those series kind of were a bit underwhelming, especially Book of Boba Fett. Like, that one was just super disappointing. And now it's like, okay, now we're dealing with another issue with The Mandalorian, where now season 3 isn't as what a lot of people were anticipating it to be as we had wanted to. And now that we have Ahsoka as the next upcoming Disney Plus series coming from Star Wars, that there is definitely a bit of a concern about, okay, well, how is the quality of the show going to be? So that's something I'm going to look forward to seeing. Like, again, I feel like, again, the one series that's really kind of been the best of the best in terms of like the quality has been Andor. Like, just the fact that they took such a, you know, a really personal story and looking into more of the realities of what it's like to live in the Star Wars world that isn't with Siths or Jedis, and showing again like kind of just a more ordinary lifestyle and through the perspective of Cassian Andor. That was something that I really thoroughly enjoyed watching. Like, I really just loved the storytelling of it. It was something that was definitely far more refreshing than we saw from some of the other Star Wars series that we have had. And yeah, I mean, again, hopefully again when we see Ahsoka, maybe we'll see the quality from, like, you know, what we saw from Andor. There's definitely a lot of questions about it. It seems as if they didn't show anything with Anakin, of course, again, because by this point Anakin is dead, but there's definitely going to be questions about whether there's going to be some flashbacks, whether it might be some, you know, ghost, like Anakin's ghost force, or heck, we might even see Luke Skywalker for all we know, because of the fact that it is intertwined within this whole same sort of timeline between this Book of Boba Fett as well as the Mandalorian. So definitely something I'm gonna keep a close eye on. Again, I'll be watching this in August. Funny enough, I actually saw Rosario Dawson last weekend when I went to my convention, which I'll talk about later today. And yeah, I know there was far more Star Wars stories, news that came out from Star Wars Celebration. So one thing I'm hoping to do is try to do a quick dive on it later tonight, just to kind of do a quick roundup of everything that we've heard so far talk about them, see how I feel about them, because there is a couple that I'm a bit skirmish about, but other than that, like, again, I'm super excited to see Ahsoka. This trailer is pretty promising so far, although it doesn't really say too much of what the series is going to be focusing on aside from the whole Thrawn situation. But yeah, no, I'm going to be watching it for sure. So that's it for me with the Ahsoka trailer. Let me know what your thoughts are. Are you excited to see Ahsoka? Are you not? Why not? I know there's a lot of different reasons why people are and are not excited to see Ahsoka. How do you think this is going to kind of mesh into the Star Wars universe as of the moment? Because again, this is intertwined with the Mandalorian as well. Do you think we're gonna see some, big characters that we're gonna, see in this show? What do you think about Thrawn? Like, we haven't really seen his face, so are you anticipating that as kind of the next big reveal whenever we get the next trailer or the next official trailer? And yeah, let me know what other thoughts you have about the Ahsoka trailer. Let me know in the comments down below, and make sure to like and subscribe.